Hello, welcome to this video. So in today's video, we're just going to build a command line interface, commonly known as a CLI. And we'll not just only build the CLI, we'll also publish it as an NPM package so that everyone on the internet can use your package. So before we dive in so much, I just want to demo for you the package that we are going to build, and you can just right away test it right away before even starting the video. You can just go on NPM and look it around and try it right now. So you have seen like NPM, these packages have been around, as you have been seeing, like npx create-nodext-app at latest. We have for shard, we have for magic, there are so many. Everyone who is coming up these days with a tool has to create a CLI for it. And we have in this video just use this documentation that I created a step by step to create a working CLI that is deployed on NPM that you can try today. So let's dive in into the demo of how it works. So you can see I have it here on the NPM. So you can see it was published a few seconds ago, and we already have two versions. If you just refresh, we have 1.2. Now you can see published 5 minutes ago. So I just want to go ahead and show you how it works, and most of it is self-explanatory here. The command is called create-nodext-app, and this creates a Node.js and Next.js project with ease. So you choose if you want to create a Node.js project or you want to create a Next.js project, and it will give you a starter template based on which language or which option you have chosen. So I'm just going to go ahead and try this. So the command here is npx create-nodext-app, and then you put the name of the project. So you can just go here and just say create-nodext-app. I'm just going to, if I can remember this, let me get a folder and let me go ahead and close all open files. And let me just go back in my folder. So I have a folder here. Let me just go ahead and open VS Code, and let me open my terminal very well. And let's just say npx create nodex. So this is called nodext app. Okay. And then we can just put the name of the app name. For instance, if I want Node.js, let me just say Node.js starter, for instance, Node.js starter. So I will choose Node.js. So you can just say this. Okay. So you will just see it will just ask you the same thing like Next.js normally ask you. Need to install the following packages. You just tap enter, and it will go ahead and ask you which language would you like to use. And we have Node.js with TypeScript and Next.js with TypeScript. Now you can see we already have the default selected option, which is Node.js with TypeScript. You can use the arrows to move down and between them. I'm just going to go with Node.js with TypeScript since we used here Node.js starter. I will enter, and you can see here setting up Node.js. They're installing the dependencies for you. Look at this. This is so awesome. So now they're installing the dependencies. Let's just give it some time. You can see here they're still saying installing dependencies, and you're going to build this by yourself. At the end of this video, you would have created a working CLI that you can actually install things. You can just put anything or any project you want someone to install, and I will walk you in a step by step to make sure you do this. Okay, so you can see here project Node.js starter is ready. Cd int Node.js starter and run npm run dev. So you can just go ahead and cd into it. You can see it here. Can you say cd Node.js starter, and I can run npm run dev. Okay, and I don't know what it's going to do, but it is started. Localhost 8000, and this is a Node.js. If we go into the Node.js project, here you go into source, you have all this set up for you. Okay, you have this set up for you. You see you have even controllers, you have Prisma set for you, you have this DB, you have everything set for you with Prisma with the Node.js. So this is the template we developed during the Node.js series. So now that you have seen for the Node.js, let's go ahead and test out for the Next.js. So I will close this. Okay, I'll close this, go back to this, and let's open one more time so that we can test if it works also for Node.js. I will go ahead, open new terminal. Okay, and you can just go ahead, of course, close all these. And now in this, let's go ahead and start npx create node next, just like this, node.next-app. And then we can just say here Node.js, Next.js starter, Next.js starter, just like this. You can put any project name you want. Let's go ahead and see. And here is going to ask you which language, since now we already have the other one installed. Now they're asking which language do we want. I'm just going to say Next.js with TypeScript and installing dependencies for us. This is so good. This is so good. So I'm just going to go ahead and just wait. And after downloading this, I just want to cd into the project and run, and I see if this runs in the browser. Okay, let's you can see it is installing now. Here the Lucid and the Dative and like all these packages. You can see here we have already the Next.js starter with all these things done, and you can see here project Next.js starter is ready. cd into Next.js starter, we can cd into it, Next.js starter. I'm just going to open this just like in VS Code alone, and we can just go ahead and run npm run dev, npm run dev. I'm just like really curious at this point, and it is just like starting localhost 3000. Let's go on localhost 3000. Just like close this one. You may just like, this is like the test, the previous test. I just want to localhost 3000 right now. You can see here it is compiling. Is compiling. Yep. So you can see we have a starter template, a Node.js project with shard, with this everything. You must be familiar with this template. So this is what you're going to build in this video. And if you're just so pumped and you're so hyped, see how we built this step by step. Let's get started. Hello, welcome to this video. So in today's video, we're just going to build a command line interface, and we're not only building just a command line interface, we're also going to publish it as a NPM package so that all other people, they can actually use it to build their projects. So command line interfaces are really nice and so much helpful. Okay, so you have seen, for instance, Next.js, when you're installing it, you're just going to use npx create-nodext-app at the latest. And this is not just like used by only Next.js. All other tools we use today, be CN, they have a command line interface, be a certain UI, be magic UI, all these they have command line interfaces that they're using to scaffold these projects in your project. And today we're just going to look how to build one and how to publish it as an npm package. And if you are happy, first of all, first smash that like button, smash the subscribe button so that we can just like make everyone see this video. And actually, after being curious on how this is created, it's something I just like researched for some good time. And then later on, when I started like this Node.js series, I just went, I just like researched, and I created this sample package. You can see I published it 12 days back. Okay, and now I want to show you a step by step of how actually just I came to actually create this package, right? So I just also created a free documentation. As you know, most of the things I teach here on YouTube, I create documentation, and I create documentations, and I know why. Because during the period when I was learning, it was very hard to find clear documentation or a blog or something that is guiding you step by step to replicate what the person was teaching in the video. So I always create these documentations to always act as a guide on how to get this done. You might just get stuck, and it helps you to unstuck you most of the times by going and revisiting the documentation. And I urge everyone to go to the documentation. I put their content. I used to use Notion in the previous days, and I decided to create my own documentation so that I just always be putting content here so that you guys always follow the tutorials very nicely and easy. So let's just see how we are going to get started. So the first thing, of course, you need to have Node.js because you are going to build the CLI using Node.js. So you need to have Node.js installed. Of course, that is something that is very easy that you can check, and I'm very sure by the time you reach this video, you might be already having Node.js installed, but you can of course quickly just check if you have one or not by just running node v. So just say in the terminal or anywhere, you can just like run node, and if you see any version here that is above as you can see here above 12, if you're good to go. And also of course NPM, which comes already with when you see you have Node.js, then NPM is also installed, and I'm going to use VS Code as usual. So the first thing is creating the project where we are going to put our CLI. And as you can see here, we just create a project folder, and then we cd into it, and we initialize in Node.js. So we can just do you can just do that. So I can just go inside VS Code, since most of you are very familiar with next the sorry VS Code. I'm just going to go into VS Code, and I'm just going to run open the terminal here. And on the time we start like executing our command. So you can see here I have my YouTube builders, and I have this building a CLI. This is the folder where I'm going to build this CLI from. So the first step is actually to create a folder where you want to put your package. So I'm just going to say mkdir. This is like make a directory. I'm just going to call it, for instance, let's just say call it my awesome. So this name has nothing to do with the actual package name. So this one is actually not just like the actual, actually just like just go ahead. Okay, just say my awesome CLI, just like this. So this one just creating a folder. As you can see, it has created just like a folder within this one, and I can just go ahead and cd into it, cd into, so you can say cd into my awesome, and we can just go ahead and run, for instance, npm init. So you can say npm init, and then you specify why, say yes to all questions. This one is going to initialize a new Node.js project, and you can see it has initialized a new npm project. I'm just going to first of all go ahead and open this project very well in VS Code by just typing in that command. So right now we only have the package.json, as simple as this. Okay, so just go and follow the steps one by one. So the first thing is to install the packages. We are going to discuss these packages and what is the purpose of each package. And the first one is the commander. I don't know if that is the pronunciation, but I just say code commander. And this one is actually for passing the command line arguments. For instance, when you type in like a project name, it is the one which actually receives those arguments. Then we have chalk. Choke is for adding colors to the console output. So when you want to make like colors, awesome colors, there is choke package and choke animation. If you want to go even more further, you can use choke animation for animating the colors or gradients. So just going to use choke for adding colors. Then we have FS. This one is an extension of FS module which adds which interacts with the creation of the interacting with the file system. So this is a file system package which interacts with Node.js with your laptop or with your machine, create files, delete files, and do all those things. Then we have Inquirer, and the Inquirer is for creating interactive command line prompts. The way you are seeing here, for instance, when they're asking you, for instance, what is the project name? So this is the Inquirer that is doing actually this job. So next is the simple git. Now behind the scenes, actually, that's why we say we keep updated. Behind the scenes, how the command line interfaces after doing the research is that the command line interfaces, they're just like having git repository. So you have your git repository here that is public. Maybe we can just like have like a public repository. Okay, let me just see any public repository here I have. Okay, let me just get why can't I just get like the of course I'm just going to go to the one we're going to use today. We just use the one I'm just going to use this one, I guess. Node.js type. Okay, we're just going to use, for instance, this one. So like I have this one like private. I need to get like a one which is like public or something. And by the way, it doesn't matter whether this is private or it doesn't matter whether it is private or public, it will still work. So like you have this, this is our Node.js TypeScript starter template that we build while we're building the Node.js series we are doing. I did this TypeScript starter template. So behind the scenes of the command line interface, they have a project already created. They have like this project already created on GitHub. So they simply clone and install the dependencies and they name it the name that you enter there. Okay. So that's what they do behind the scenes. So the creating of this, for instance, the way you say like magic UI or something, they already have these components. For instance, you just go ahead and create all these components, and then you find a way of actually accessing one by one from GitHub. That's why even if they update the template, you always get the latest version of that project. Okay. So behind the scenes is going to be a GitHub repository that you are just going to be able just to clone and download on that person's machine. Okay, so that is the logic behind building this. I believe there is some other ways like really, but this is the simplest way or the simplest method I found out on building it. And that's why we're using the simple git. So simple git is actually to help us do the git operations. For instance, git clone, git install, git do what. We're going to be using this simple git package. And then finally, we have Aura, which is for creating beautiful terminal spinners. When you just like downloading, you see it spinning, showing you that something is being done. Okay, so let's first go ahead and install these packages. So I will copy this and let me go to the terminal. Okay, and make sure you're just like in your project. I'm just going to go ahead and install these packages. Okay, so that is one thing that we're just going to do. And step number 3 is create the main CLI file. So the CLI file, of course, is going to have, this is our file that we are going to use to do everything. Okay, so the first thing is to create the index file, index.js. So here the packages have finished. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this. So let me just go inside here in this. I'm just going to create an entry file called index.js, and this is all where everything is going to live. So we're just going to put all the things here. This is where everything is going to live. And here, by the way, you make sure that you have this main here, also saying index.js as we have it here. Okay, so we're also going to start writing here. And what are we going to write there? The first line that we write there is actually making the file executable. And making the file executable is to make sure that when you run it in Node.js, it can actually execute it. Okay, and we add this line of code, which they normally actually call it a shebang or a hash bang. Okay, you can just search about it. It is very nice when you come to Linux commands. This line of making files executable is really nice. You can just go ahead and copy this word, and then you just say you just simply type it just like this bank, and even tell you that is bank. You can just say here you can see when they give you even the a nice this bank a person. Just go here and get, can I just like say what is uh what is shebang? And you can see here is a character sequence. You can see here has consisting of character number sign, blah blah, and it is here the in the Linux. You can see Linux handbook. A shebang is a combination of the hash, pound, blah blah. This character combination has a special meaning when it is used. So this line, they call it a shebang or they call it a hash bang. So it is the file that helps Node.js to make this file executable when you run Node.js. Okay, so this is always the first line you have to put on top, not put anything else, but just put only this line. Okay, of course, you can just go ahead and read more about this line. Okay, step number three, or the step number three is to import, of course, all the necessary dependencies. So you can just go ahead and add these dependencies that we are going to use. So after this shebang, we can add all these dependencies that we installed. So you can see all these dependencies, they are inside our package.json. You can see the dependencies are here that we added, and we just go ahead and import all of them. And you can see we have the exec sync, we have the Inquirer, Aura, simple gate, path. So we have all these packages that we are going to use. So next is we have, of course, the meaning of all these here and their purpose. The next one is initialize the command line program. So this one, its purpose is to initialize the program. For instance, sorry, let me just copy using this one. So this line is starting a program, and the program is the one which does everything that we are going to do. Okay, this is just like initializing a new instance of the program, and this program is what is going to do, for instance, set the version, do the actions that you want to do everything is going to be by this program. So this program literally is what does everything. Okay, so we set the command, and you can see this creates a new command object which is used to define our CLI behavior. So the actual CLI is defined, the behavior of the CLI is defined by this program. So step number 5 is now actually using the program to start it. So down here we use the program. So you can say program.version. So you set the version of the program. Okay, that's why when you're just using a Next.js, they first tell you the version that you are installing, and the version you can specify it here. And now the argument. So this is where we start receiving the arguments. Remember, we're saying the purpose of, for instance, this was it exec sync. Like we have this to receive the arguments, as you can see here. So the first argument we have now is this project name. So we say name of the project, or give your project a name. Okay, and then we have this action. So the first one takes in the version, the argument, and then we have the action. So the action is actually which helps us to do the main logic of the CLI. You have all the logic, do A, B, C, D is going to be done within the action inside here. And you can see already this action has a access to the project name, which actually is this here. Okay, so now we just go ahead. So this by default, whatever you put here inside here, it will be the project name, just like this. So now we started like doing the whole logic. And the whole logic, if you want to understand the logic, we said the logic behind this package, creating the package is going to be one. I have, for instance, my two Git repositories, of which I'm just going to put actually. So I'm just going to go here and say YouTube. There is this repository that we have been using in most of the videos. I'm just going to go on my channel, and then I'm just going to click on this. Go ahead and then, putting on very advanced, and then under this search, I'm going to search shad cn. So we just have this video here. Go ahead and putting on, this is shad. I don't know what happens. I'm just go ahead and copy this. We have this source code. So basically, the NPM package you are going to create is going to be doing two things. It's going to be doing two things, I think. It's going to be helping a person.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software.
We can just say close that. Sorry for that. So we can just go ahead and explain. I want to explain what our Git, CLI we're building today, what is going to be doing. So what we want is this CLI to help a person scaffold a new, either a Next.js project or a Node.js project. Okay, so when you are starting, you have a choice of choosing either to start with a Node.js TypeScript starter template or a Next.js starter template. And this Next.js starter template, it has shad cn. So this one can be anything. It can be a starter kit. For instance, if I wanted to create for my starter kit, okay, if I just go here, I have the repositories for my starter kit, for instance. So I can just go ahead and I create one for my starter kit. Okay, I have the starter kit somewhere here, Next.js starter kit. I have this starter kit I built of recent. So I can just go ahead and I create a package that is going to go ahead and download this. It simply goes clones this and install all the dependencies, and it gives this the name. It gives a project name that you specified. So that is the whole logic behind what we want here to write it in terms of this. So we want to get a person, first of all, to choose. So give a person to choose between, for instance, two choices, to choose between, let's say, Node.js and Next.js. What does he want to install? So when he chooses a template, so he has to choose between Node.js and Next.js, maybe templates. So when he chooses a template, so we go ahead and clone and just it. I'm just going to write. I'm just going to write here. Sorry, so okay, so after they have chosen the template, we go ahead and clone the template. And after cloning the template, we want to install dependencies. Okay, of course we have to cd. So here, so by the way, here for instance, while downloading, so here we can say while downloading, so spinner, so while downloading, so spinner. Okay, just like this. Another thing is, of course, also when the download is complete, of course, you can show a message, then go ahead and cd into the created project. So you can just go ahead in between here, we'll create a project. I think between we have to create a project and cd into it. So we have to download, create, I don't know, here, create the project name. I think this is just going to, yeah. So when we download, so we clone the template and create, put in a folder. We cd into that folder. So cd in the project, and install dependencies. So here, and install dependencies. And then after that, when the dependencies are done, we also display a message, okay, of like happy coding that your project is now done. You can do the coding. So basically, this is like the step you get at the point. We ask a person, choose which template do they want. For instance, do you want to install Node.js, or you want to install a Next.js? Okay, and when he chooses Node.js, then we install the Node.js template. When he chooses Next.js, then we install the Next.js template. So before you do that, you need to have those two templates. For instance, we have the one for the Node.js, and we have also the one for the Next.js. Okay, so want to use this one, which has the code shard. So you can just go and create, for instance, your basic starter template, or you have your kit that you have done, and then just go ahead and install this. So we're just going to be using this one for the Node.js, from Next.js, and then this one for the Next.js, Node.js. And this one is also nice. It has already Prisma setup. It has everything. So this one is actually just very useful. This is the template that we created. It has most of the thing configured for you. So it is really nice. So let's go ahead and now start the process. So going back to the documentation now, you can see inside here now on the actions inside, we're just going to add these. And what these ones are doing actually is just doing the things that we actually talked about. So I'm just going to copy this, and let me just go ahead and paste this inside here, just like this. And let's go through these processes. Okay, so the first process you can see here, we create the project path. So there is a project name and there is a project path. So the project, you can see here, we just get the current working directory and we concatenate it with the project name to get where they are supposed to create the project. Okay, so here we just create a project path and we're using the project name. You know very well this one, process dot a current working directory. This one will giving you the whole file system up to the project, and then you concatenate it with the project name to get the project path. So the first thing is to check if the project directory already exists. You can see using the exist file sync, this one, fs.existSync, you put the project path. This just avoid if someone has already created the project, you don't want to create that same name. That's why if you try to create a project using like Next.js, you're trying to rename a folder which is already existing, they will give the error that the directory of this project already exists, and we exit the process using this. And this one is just like the way we say return. So we normally use this in JavaScript, return. So the return in the terminal system, we use this process.exit. There is 0 and there is 1. So we use 1 if we want to exit, so it should not exceed this point. So this is the first check. We check if the project already exists. We can also add it here. Check if the project name already exists. The project name already exists. Okay, so that is the first thing. Now we prompt the user to select the template type. Now if you just go to Inquirer documentation, this package Inquirer, you will see we are using here these the first of all the type of prompt. The prompt has a type, and there are so many types according to what you are asking. You can be asking, for instance, a prompt. You can a question which is like requires an input, which requires to select. So there are so many types, and for this one we want a list because we want them to be listed. You can check here in this. You can just go and say Inquirer. Here you say Inquirer. Here on NPM, and you can just go and scroll down. So when you scroll down, you will notice that here they have a lot of types. So the one we are using here, you can see here the prompt types. We have the list, and the list is the one we are using, and they show you how the list is going to be looking like. This is the list here. Okay, takes this, and then we have, for instance, row list. Okay, this is how the row list looks like. Type expand. There is type checkbox if you want to get the checkboxes. Type confirm if you want like yes or no. So they have all these types with the Inquirer, and you can just notice that we use this in Next.js, where they ask you a lot of things. You can type in, you can say yes or no. So it just depends on the thing you want or the arguments you want people to do. That is why you have select. It is why you say yes or no. Like for instance, Next.js here, you select most of the things is yes or no. You can say yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. So depending on what you want, you can just use this format of yes or no, or you can just use the ones of selecting. So in this, we're using the one for selecting, and that's why we're just using the list. And here we're going to ask a question. For instance, which template would you like to say? So you can just say here, so here just going to say, would you like to use? And here you can just say, which language would you want to maybe here okay, just say which language. Okay, which language would you like to use or to create? I don't know which question. How can we ask this question? Which language? Okay, you can just say which language would you like to use, and you're just going to have, for instance, Node.js, which is going to be here Node, and take note on what we just giving the values here. So this one is what people are going to see. You can just say, for instance, Node.js with TypeScript. So you can just say with, so it doesn't matter, with TypeScript, like this. And the value here, give it something that can be easily to recall. Like for instance, I'm giving it Node. And then here, we can just say here, Next.js with TypeScript. Next.js with TypeScript, just like this, and you can just say this one as next. Now these values here, we can give the default. If someone does not choose any, we can choose for them the default we want. So for instance, we can just say Node just like this as a default, or you can put next. And we are putting the values. Okay, don't just put the name. We are putting the values. So the default must be between either this node or next. So you can put here node or next. And now determine the repository URL based on the user's selection. That's why we said you need to have your repositories that is going to represent Node.js with TypeScript and then Next.js with TypeScript. Whatever options you want to put here, and you can just not like put only two, you can put many. Node.js with JavaScript, Next.js with JavaScript, Next.js with Tailwind, this one with this. So you can just put so many templates here to customize what you want to give them. Okay, so you get the point. You can have 10 repositories and then you keep asking questions to get which one they are going to select. So here, just like simplified, we have Node.js with TypeScript and Next.js with TypeScript. And we have given them the names Node for Next.js for Node.js with TypeScript and Next for Next.js with TypeScript. And the default, we have given it this one. So here, just going to go ahead and put our repositories. For instance, if the template answers the template, and this is this we are filing here, answer.template, it is the choice they have chosen here. Okay, so here just say answers.template is equal, for instance, for Node.js. If they select Node, if this is true, then we put a Node.js repository here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy my repository and look at the repository we are copying, guys. HTTP GitHub Node.js JavaScript starter, like this. Look at this. I just want to copy this, for instance, and I just go here. Okay, you can just go here and paste. Oh, just like paste this. So you can see that this name is actually this one, the GitHub itself. You can just say here at the end, it has .git. Okay, so it is not just like a link to the repository. Don't put this one. Instead, you have to copy this one. Okay, so I'm just going to go to those repositories for Node TypeScript starter template. Just simply go to code and copy this one. And then come here and let's go ahead and add it. So I'm just going to go here and add this one, HTTPS, this Node.js TypeScript .git. And for Next.js, I'm just going to get this one. So I will just go ahead and copy this. And then let's bring and add it here. So if you had so many options, you know how to do the if statement. We can do an if statement here to choose which repo or which URL. If you have so many, you can also use, for instance, rate. So you can just say, for instance, rate repo is equal to maybe this, and then you come and start giving if statement. If the answers of template is equal node, repo is this. If it is this, so if you have so many to choose from, you can do that. I'm just going to simply use this ternary operator, but you can do an if statement in any way you want. So after we have gotten the repository based on what this person entered here, we just go next. Now we create the project directory. You remember in our steps here, okay? So this is a point where we create the project directory, and we just simply use fs mk -sync, and then you put this, create the repository, set up the spinner for the visual feedback. So for instance, we can just say use Aura to download. So you can just say downloading answer.template. If this is Node, you can just say here, for instance, downloading, or you could just say here setting up. You can use any name you want. For instance, you can say setting up Node.js project. You can just say downloading Node.js project or something. So just use the word setting up maybe. Okay, I just say setting up, and then here Node.js setting up here, you can just say Node.js. Okay, and then here else is going to be Next.js. So it will be setting up Next.js or setting up Node.js. Okay, and then here you just say project. Instead of template, we can just say project. Okay, and then after this, we actually define a Git, and you see we're using simple Git, the simple Git that we used here. So here I'm just going to go ahead and do Git, and the Git is going to go ahead and clone. So I wait Git clone repository, and it puts it with the repo name. So you can see it clones this, and it will give a name of the project path. And here you can just be saying, for instance, if the answer is Node, just say here Node.js. Okay, Node.js, and here of course here is going to be Next.js project. So you can say Node.js project set up successfully. Set up. Can you say set up successfully? Any language or any name you want to use, any English, you can just do that. Then navigate to the project directory. So here we just cloned it. So before we install the dependencies, we have to navigate into the project, and we can use process now dot this. Okay, change directory, and then we go to this project path, and now we can just install dependencies. First of all, we start the spinner by installing dependencies, and we execute npm install. And this exec-sync is something from the file system package. You can just go ahead and also search about it here, and you can just go here and see this on the Node.js documentation. Actually, can you say go ahead and just like type in this, not even just like only these child processes. You can search, for instance, what this means. Okay, you can just like search about that, but you can just go to this documentation, and in documentation you can just go ahead and see, for instance, options.st, this one here. What does the, for instance, st die, what does it mean? You can just click in this, and they will tell you exactly what this command does. Is used to configure the pipes, like the pipeline, like the how commands are supposed to be executed that are established between the parent and the child process, and they give you all the options, and you can see the inherit here is there. The inherit we're using here is there on this, so you can just read more about it. And then when this is finished, we also do experiencing dependencies installed successfully, and we can use chalk to give project name is ready. And then you can also give another one cd. I think we are already inside this project. There is no need cd into it. I'm just going to just say here just, I think here just say just run npm run dev, and you're good to go. Okay, because already we are inside here where we install the dependencies. Okay, then we could just say, maybe if it's in VS Code, we could just put the command for the code and blah blah. But you say here run npm run dev to get started. Okay, you can say here to get started. Okay, and that's it. If it is fails, then we do that. Then at the end of this, we are supposed to run the program. We're supposed to run the program. Let's continue with the documentation and see. So then at last, we just go ahead, and now at the end of the index, just go ahead and just run the program. I think, is it supposed to be inside here? I don't think so. I think it's supposed to be outside. Like program.process this. Okay, and this is the final file if you're of course following this one. So this one you are seeing here is actually the actual package that I have here. So this one, the one you are seeing there is the actual package I used to publish this. Okay, so just see here. So you can just see that we can just set this, and then at the end you can see we have program.pass. So this completes the creation of the main CLI. So this one will now do what we have told it. When someone runs it, it can create a project, does everything, and you can see here it should just process the arguments and everything. So this is the end of the program, and everything you have seen that we did it inside the action. You're the one who determine what is supposed to be done in the action within this one. Okay, so let's now talk about modifying the package name. Now, the package name is very important to modify, most especially when it comes to making it, publishing it as an NPM package. Okay, we have to make some modifications to look like this when you want to actually publish it as an NPM package. So the first name is giving the name of the package. Okay, so I want to create my package. I want to give it a name called this create-nodext-app. Like want to be using this I combine node with next to become nodext. So I'm just going to copy this. Okay, you can just come to the package.json and start adding some things. The first one, I'm just going to change this to this. Okay, create nodext-app. So if they change or they refuse, then because this project name must be unique. If this one already exists somewhere on NPM, they will refuse it. Even this one, I'm not sure if it already exists or not. So you just come up with a very unique name you want to give it. You can use your name. For instance, you can just say JBCRI app or whatever you want, but I'm just going to use this name. So next, I'm just going to go ahead and continue with the modifications. So description of your command line. So I'm just going to go ahead and give a description. So I also have it here. Just going to copy this description. So you can just like describe what your Node.js your app is doing. So here in the description, let me put this. Create a Node.js and Next.js projects with ease. This CLI tool helps you quickly qualify production ready applications, offers you choices between Node.js and Next.js templates. It sets up the project structure, installs dependencies, and configures its own developer tools, allowing you to jumpstart straight into your coding application. Very nice description that I just used from ChatGPT. Next, the type. So you have to make sure this one has type module. And the reason why you use type module is to make sure that someone who is going to scaffold the project is able to use the imports, ES6 imports. That's why we have to use this type module. Next is the main. Of course, we have that scripts. You can just leave them. They have no problem. The most important one of all is this bin. Okay? The most one of all is this bin. So the bin is the actual command which is going to execute. Okay? So down here, I'm just going to put bin. This bin, as I've said, it is the one which is having the actual CLI. So this name here is the name of the package. But then this name you put here is the one which is going to be executed at the terminal. Those are two different things. To show you the difference, when you go to the package I created, you can see it is create this is hub app Node.js. That is the name of the package. But in the execution, you can see here, create this sub app. So here, it is why you actually give the actual command that's supposed to be run. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy this and then add it here. So they can also be the same or they can even be different. So here, create NodeXapp, and it's going to execute this file, .index.js, this one. Okay, so that being command is really important. Then we can put the keywords. Okay, just go ahead and put the keywords here. So yes, a CLI, Node.js, then we can just say Next.js. Okay, Next.js. We can just say TypeScript. Okay, just like this. Scaffold, template, any keywords you want to see, you can just like add them like that. Next is author. You give your name. So the author of this, I'm just going to put JB, web developer, for instance, developer, just like that. License, you can just like put in license, they just say MIT. Now, I'm not so much a guru in licenses, but you can just go ahead and check what each license does. And I think that's it. We have the author, and that's it. So make sure to replace, of course, your name with your actual name or username. So publishing the CLI as an NPM package, requirements for publishing. So the first thing is go ahead and create an account. If you don't already have an NPM package, that is the first thing. You can see me, I already have here the account. You can see here, I already have an account. They really ask a few questions. Just go ahead and go and sign up for an NPM account. Create an account, very straightforward. Put whatever they have asked you, then you are good to go. There is no any money or anything you're going to pay while doing this account. It's very free. Okay, that is the first thing. Do the create an account. The second one, a unique package name. Check availability on this. I'm not going to go ahead and just like check it before I publish, but I'm just going to hope that this one is there. If it's not there, I'll just come and check it and change something. Then a package.json file with correct metadata, like the one we have just created, this one. And finally, a readme file explaining how to use your package. So we have to create a readme file, and I also created it here. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. I don't know why I didn't put a copy on this one, but let me just go ahead and just scroll to copy this. So just like this. Copy and just go to this and let's create MDX. It is called readme. I think it's just like it will be like readme.md, something like this. And let's paste everything. So first of all, put the name of the package on top here. Let's just say create NodeXT-app. So here on top, I'm just going to put this. Okay. And then this one is going to be explaining what the app does, which I already have here. So I'm just going to copy this description, bring it here. Okay. And then do I need this? So features, interactive prompt for creating new Node.js and Next.js projects. Supports JavaScript. So here you can just say, for instance, you can explain, for instance, for Node.js. Okay, supports TypeScript, for instance, or you can just say comes with TypeScript. Comes with TypeScript. It comes with TypeScript. The Express router setup. Maybe say here routing setup. Prisma. Okay, it just comes with all these. Then and then you can just say here for Node.js, for Next.js, you can just come here. For Next.js comes with TypeScript. shard cn, then you can just say tailwind, okay, and then yeah, so as simple as that. It initializes a Git repository and install dependencies, full stop. So here, the installation part. So this is where now I'm just going to, on the installation part, let's just go down here where I talked about using the CLI tool. So there is something I was asking myself, even me, it is something I didn't know about the NPM. So we always have two ways to run things. If you just go here on this package, you can say I have here NPM install this, and on the usage, you can say I put for you NPM install globally, create this sub app Node.js. And then after doing this, I told say you go ahead and run this. You can combine these steps are very okay, but you can combine these steps in one. That's why you see all these ones, they have only one, and they start with npx. So what is npx? So npx, it is something actually that came later in a newer version of npm. You can see here npx is a package runner tool that comes with npm version 5.2 and above. It allows you to execute NPM package binaries without installing them globally. So at first, you had to install something globally. For instance, you would have to first install Next.js globally on your machine, so that we start using Next.js every time you are going to create a new project. But you don't need to do that. It can install Next.js only in that project that you want to do. And we can do that by using npx. Okay, you can see here, this is particularly useful for running one-off commands, ensuring you are always using the latest version of the package. So this one is, we can use this, okay? We can just use this command now in our usage. So instead of saying first install this one and then run this one, we can just actually just say you only need to install this, okay? So the installation, you can just simply put we don't actually just like this. We can just say installation and usage. We can just like add them now together. So you can just say just install or run. You can just say here run this. Let's just put here create. So even here, I'm just going to say this. So you have to run, okay, on your terminal. You can just say here on your terminal, as so npx create-nodext-app, and then you put my new project. So now we don't need this usage, okay, and then down here we can just put this for the prompt. Select your preferred language and options. Okay, as simple as this. So that is our readme.md file. Great, that is really nice. Now, when you use npx blah blah, they have put also the this. Okay, I've also put this, and then like configuring your package for npm and npx, you ensure you have this bin thing going on, which order we have. Okay, so this is how recommendation for users, how they're supposed to do it. They say if you use npm, so you have to first install this globally, and then you just go and create. So here you have to run two commands: npm install this globally, or you can use only one command, and you can see npx create next, and you put the name of the project. So this is really nice. And we have finished the everything. Now I think we can just go ahead and publish the package. So we can just go back here on publishing the package. The first step is to log in. So after you have created an account, remember. So now the next thing is going on your on this here, I'm just going to go here on our terminal. Let's go ahead and say npm login. So this one is going to prompt us to log in, and if you already press enter to open the browser. So you need to have just already logged in. I'm just going to press enter, and this is going to prompt me to actually log in. Okay, so they have a two-factor authentication configured. I'm just going to go ahead and see what they have sent me here on my email and then add it. So do the same. I've already received the email here. So let me just go ahead and get this email. So this is on my phone. I just want to get this email, NPM OTP. I have it here. Okay, so the OTP, I have it here. Let me just enter it. Okay. So they will send you this and you can say authentication successful. You can close this tab and return to your command line. So I'll just close this and let me return to the command line. And you can see that now we have logged in our NPM registry. So now next, I'm just go ahead and run NPM publish. Okay, so just go ahead and run this NPM publish and let's wait what will happen. And you can see here an npm this, notice the publishing http blah blah, create nodext at this. Great. So this one has been registered. So we just need to go on npm and search for this. I believe I'm just going to go ahead and just go ahead and search for this, guys. I'm just really happy right now. Let me just go maybe on npm and like I'm trying to refresh, right? Like see if they have like this already. Like we need maybe to give it like a second or something. And it is here, guys. Ah, great. So Nodext, create Nodext app just published a minute ago. Just published a minute ago. This is really nice. Okay, you can see here the things we gave here. Create Node.js and Next.js project with ease. These are the features and these are the installation guide. However much this command did not work nicely. Okay, I'm just going to look in my previous one. Here it actually just worked. I think here we just like missed something. And this will also show you how to update if you want to update. So I think here they added like really unnecessary things. And they suppose just like put just like I should supposed to put just like this. Just a second. Like put sorry. They put like here bash, and then even this one here, just remove this. And suppose like to put something like this, I guess. Okay, nevertheless, so after changing, I think after making the changes, you can run npm publish. I'm not so sure. Like you can just like go ahead and saying here something. Oh, so when you just like make something, like for instance, in the most cases, let me just see here this error here. So forbidden, put this, you cannot publish over previous a version. So when you just like make some changes, you just go ahead and make sure that you change the version here. For instance, we change something very small. When you change and make a big change, you change like on this. If you make a very minor change, you can change on this. So we can just say 0.01. Okay, now we can just go ahead and just like publish this. Now it should just like work. Now you can see that it has been published. Now we have 1.01. If I refresh the page, this is the other one. I just like go on this one. Now we just see that we just like have the I think the version updated. So you can see version 1.10, and now this one is looking great. So let's just go ahead now test this. I don't know if it is going to work, guys. So fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and try this. So I'm just going to go ahead, create a new folder, assuming I'm just going to create a new Next.js project. Let me just go in anywhere else, in maybe my trials folder. I'm just going to say testing our CLI. So I'm just going to say here testing published CLI. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And let's open this in VS Code. Okay, and I'm just going to open this in the terminal very nicely and see. Let me just go ahead and paste this. Sorry, you can just remove this. Can paste this. npx create-nodext-app, my new project. So I just like hope that this should prompt us. Just prayers. Yes, so you can see here, need to install the following packages, create Node.js-app, which is really nice. Click yes, and and um and this one finishes. We now need to have the questions. And yes, so which language would you like to use? Node.js with TypeScript or Next.js with TypeScript? I'm just going to go, and you can see Node.js with TypeScript is the selected thing. So I can just go use the arrows to select whichever I want. And I think I just want to first go with the one of Next.js. So I'm just going to go Next.js and press enter. And you can see here setting up Next.js project, and they're installing the packages. I'm just right now feeling so happy, and like we're just like installing the packages, as you can see there, the dependencies, and you can see the name we put here, my new project is what they used. And they just like wait, they install the dependencies, and then we'll cd into it, and then we just go ahead and so just like wait, because this one has a lot of things. You can see it is installing this, and you can see here it has project. This is ready. Just run npm run dev to get started. And actually we need to add the cd because it actually didn't cd. We have not cd into this. I think we have to really add that. So let's just like go ahead and cd into my, and just like this. And let me just open this code -r, just like this. And let's go ahead, because they have already run the dependencies, it means we can simply just say npm run dev. And yeah, so we have localhost 3000. I can just go ahead and run this to confirm that this works. Okay, and we have the project, right? This is so amazing, guys. If you're liking this and you are so happy to build this project, you can put it on your portfolio right away. It's a nice project that you can show off. I'm so really happy. At this point, if you haven't subscribed, guys, smash the subscribe button and break it. I'm just really so happy with this project you have just like built. So I just want to, you can just go ahead and test with the other one. I'm just going to go back to our project, and I think we should just put the cd into the project. So down here somewhere, I'm just going to change something where we have actually this cd. So copy this, and I'm just going to go back to our project. Okay, just go here in the actual project and then go down here. So where we have this console, I'm just going to say cd into project name and run npm run dev. So this, if you just make changes and you want to update, you have to go to the package.json and add here this change, for instance 2 here, and then now we can run npm publish. This one is going to go ahead and publish it, and you can see we have now 1.02. And don't forget to push this to GitHub. I'm just going to do that. My package. So this one, I will just go to GitHub. So this does not mean that it is there on GitHub. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new repository on GitHub. So go create a new. I'm just going to go here and I just go and say, for instance, my awesome CLI. So you just say here, my awesome CLI, just like this. I'm just going to make this private and just go ahead and create the repository. And of course, I'm just going to go ahead and copy all these. So come here in this repository, run git init, and then we can say and git add. First of all, let's create a git ignore file. Okay, let's first do git init only. So it initializes it as a git repository. We can just go ahead and just create a .git ignore .git ignore just like this. And let's go ahead and put node modules just like this. These ones, we don't want to push these ones, node modules. And of course, that's the only thing, I guess. We just don't want to push other things. We can just go ahead and now add git add. Do we need to make a git add? Okay, just go ahead and just say git add, and let's say add everything, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paste this like that, and this is going to be pushed. If I refresh here, we have it. Okay, you can see even all these the prompts we wrote, they are all here. So this is so nice. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have reached at the end, thank you so much, and I'm very sure you are happy with what you have built. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.